Philip Bump is a Washington Post reporter. And in Washington, Susan Page, D.C. Bureau Chief for USA Today. They join me now. Susan, let me start with you. Clinton's campaign is choosing to go on the offensive here, publicly questioning FBI Director Comey's actions. What do you make of that response?
Well, I think it's the only response they have. They can't talk about the substance of the emails because they haven't seen they don't know what emails are included there, they say. So the path that's open to them is to criticize the FBI director for putting this information out before he had even seen the emails. We now know that Anthony Weiner is cooperating with investigators, and they're about to be able to look at those emails. But the FBI doesn't know either. So the attack on Comey is a way to identify a target, to try to talk about something other than the fact that this has revived attention to the email, to her use of a private email server as Secretary of State, an issue that continues to dog her in her campaign.
And Philip, let's actually listen to a short clip from Hillary Clinton on Saturday.
Some of you may have heard about a letter that the FBI director sent out yesterday. Well, if you're like me, you probably have a few questions about it. It is pretty strange. It's pretty strange to put something like that out with such little information right before an election.
She went on to call Comey's letter deeply troubling. So, Philip, are there risks to that kind of strategy?
It's extremely hard to say what the risks or rewards of this will be, just because we don't know anything about it. No one knows anything about it. The FBI doesn't know what the emails are. There's so little information, it's very hard to guess where this is going to go. But I will say that Hillary Clinton, her goal here clearly is to point out the fact that this is speculative, that this was a decision that was misrepresented in the press, that doesn't necessarily change the facts on the ground for her, all of which is true. Right now we're in GOTV, we're in a get out the vote mode. She needs to get her folks to the polls. She needs to give them reasons to not be worried about her as a candidate. I think this is the strategy they're using to do that.
All right, well, let me ask both of you, starting with you, Susan. In the Washington Post ABC News poll, 3 in 10 likely voters say they're less likely to back Clinton after they learned about this FBI review. 6 in 10 say they are unmoved by it. So early voting underway in some states. Where does this have, you think, the most impact for Clinton?
Let's note that 3 in 10 say they're less likely to vote for her. That includes a lot of Republicans who are unlikely to vote for her.
That's a good point.
In any case, I think we don't fully know what kind of political legs this has, but we can predict that it's going to help Donald. It's helpful to Donald Trump. Right. It helps him consolidate support among Republicans, including some Republicans who were not so enthusiastic about his candidacy. That's where he has room for growth because his support among Republicans has been lower than you'd expect for the Republican nominee. I think it may also be a little discouraging for some Hillary Clinton supporters who had decided they'd vote for her, but they weren't that enthusiastic. Maybe this holds down turnout among those voters. I don't think it makes them flip and support Trump, but maybe it encourages them to just stay home.
And Philip, what do you think about that? And also the fact that, you've got millions of people who've already voted in early voting.
Well, so two very important points there. The first is that I think Susan is right, that this isn't going to do a whole lot. It may affect turnout some, and it may also, for Republicans who are sort of like, I really don't like Donald Trump, and I guess I can deal with Hillary Clinton. It gives them a reason to say, okay, never mind, I'm not going to vote for either one of them, which means a lost vote for Hillary Clinton. Early voting, yes. Early voting, tens of millions of people have already voted, but the people who tend to vote early, this early particularly, tend to be more hard partisans. And so these are more robust Republicans and more robust Democrats, which means that this wasn't going to change their minds. To the extent that this is going to change anyone's mind is an open question, but it's not, most of those early votes are by people who certainly wouldn't have changed either.
All right, Philip Bump and Susan Page, thank you both so much.
Thank you.